Hey, 30-06 John here, and today what we're going to be talking about is the 375 Ruger cartridge and the 375 Ruger Alaskan. Ruger introduced this cartridge in rifle combination maybe 10 years ago. They still make the Ruger Alaskan. It's in a little bit different format. The 375 Ruger is a modern case. There's no belt on it. They've used this case for a lot of the new, more modern cartridges. Like I think some of the nozzle cartridges and some of the other cartridges are based off this case. This case is sort of a modern version of a 375 H&H. It actually holds a little bit more powder than a 375 H&H case, although its overall length is only 3.3 inches, the same as like a 30-06 or a 300 Win Mag. It launches a 270 grain bullet going a little bit over 2,700 feet per second. It's very good on moose, brown bears, grizzly bears. I personally have shot, with this rifle and ammunition combination, I've shot 2 moose and a black bear. Has always worked well. For optic on it, I have a Leupold Mark II Hunter. One thing this rifle does have that a lot of people like when they hunt dangerous game is that it has a full claw extractor, so that when you feed a cartridge in it, it'll slide up underneath here, then it holds the round in. The sliding extractors don't have that. Also, if you push feed this, the extractor will slip over the rim if you single shot feed this. A lot of people really want that claw extractor when they're hunting dangerous game. A lot of the sliding extractors, like on the Ruger American or Savages, don't have that option. So let's reload some 375 Ruger. One thing that you have to realize is that the 375 Ruger case is a pretty stout case, runs at a high pressure. So you need a reloading press that can deliver a lot of pressure to resize the case back. I'm not going to use a Lee turret press. I'm not going to use a lightweight single stage press like the Lee that I used before. You need a heavy duty cast iron press. I'm using this Pacific press. I've had this press for, I don't know, probably 40 years. Still works fine. For our components, what we're going to be using today is, for brass, I have this, this is Hornady 375 Ruger brass. I bought these 100 pieces of this brass. I'm still using them. I've reloaded them 3 or 4 or 5 times. These seem to be fine. Once in a while I do cut them down, trim them down, but doesn't need to be done every firing. Also, I'll be using for powder, I'll be using Accurate 2700. This powder is, let's see here, yeah, this powder here is made in the USA. Seems to work pretty good. For bullets, today I'm going to be using this Spear Bowtail. It's a 375 caliber, 270 grain Bowtail soft point. I use this as a practice round. For my hunting rounds, what I use for hunting animals, I use the Barnes TSX 375 caliber, 270 grain triple shock. It's been a good bullet. I've personally shot 2 moose and a black bear with this bullet. Also, a lot of people using this bullet in a 375 H&H. I've shot a lot of moose, and it's a good brown bear bullet also. For primers, I'm going to be using the Remington 9.5M Magnum rifle primers. I've had really good luck using these. For reloading dies, I'm going to be using a set of RCBS full-length sizing die set. This is a 2-die set. It also says to use shell holder number 04. I do have one of those. Just a tip for people reloading bottleneck rifle cases. It usually helps out better if you use the shell holder from the manufacturer of your reloading die. A lot of times you can get by using like a Hornady or a Lee shell holder when you're using a different brand of die. But when you use the same shell holder and same die, you do get a little better resizing and eliminates sometimes some weird problems. So the first thing we do is just screw in the resizing die. Just put this up a little bit higher there. I'm screwing it in. This is preset already, so I know that it's set right. Also, we want to put the shell holder in. When you put this in, you just feel it cam over there. That's how you know it's right. So it should be just touching, and when you put it all the way down, it'll you just feel a little bit of resistance there. So when you lubricate the cases, I just use Hornady One Shot. Usually I'm just doing a couple for an example here. Usually I put them out on a larger rag, do a bunch of them at the same time. Just do a couple shots here. Get some in the neck. I'm sorry, inside the case mouth. Just let them sit for a minute. All right. So after the lubricate dries, you stick it in, run it up. You feel it resizing. The primer goes out. Come back out. Looks good. Let's do another one. Now after you have the cases resized, you still got that lubricant on it. A lot, they say you can leave it on it. For my personal use, what I do is I get a rag and put some lighter fluid on it, and I just clean the lubricant off the case. Just something I do. Some people might think it's a lot of effort, but for my centerfire hunting rounds, it's worth the extra time for me. Now for my centerfire hunting rounds like this, I clean out the primer pocket. I just get a small one of these little primer pocket cleaners, clean it out, make sure it looks clean. Like I said, when you're doing pistols and stuff, you just range ammo and that, it doesn't really matter. But if I'm making hunting rounds where every shot is important, I do the extra effort there. So when I get ready to prime, I take the old priming or the priming cup out, unscrew the resizing die. Then put the case in. Grab our primer. Once again, we're using the excellent Remington 9.5M primer. Pulling in the priming arm. And see. Pull it out. Make sure that primer is just below flush. Alright, like I said before, I'm using A2700 powder, Accurate 2700. I put some in this cup, in my trickler. I zeroed my powder scale. So my charge that I'm looking for is 80.5 grains of accurate 2700. Now I'm using this Lee powder scoop. I think that is 2 scoops of this powder. Oh, way over. I am weighing each charge. Once again, this is sort of a magnum load. I want to make sure every charge is precise. That's 80.4. That's pretty close right there. Get it to 80.5. Looks good. Let's screw in the seating die into the press. I seat without a crimp on these cartridges. I never had a problem with the bullet jumping or moving in the case. So I have the resizing die already set to proper cartridge overall length of 3.3 inches. Let's put the powder into the case. I have a special powder funnel here, of course, for the case. I'm just doing this sort of a weird way just to show everyone how to do it on the video. Usually I'll be using a loading block on this. Grab the powder, pour it in. Looks okay there. Put this in. Just grab a bullet. Let's seat it. When you pull the bullet out, or I'm sorry, when you pull the loaded cartridge out, I like to measure it, especially the first couple. It should be 3.3 inches. It should be 3.3 inches, right on the money. Let's finish up some more. Hey, so I'm back from the range. Quick review. We are shooting the .375 Ruger Alaskan at 100 yards. So my first few shots, this is my fouling shot after I clean the barrel. I always shoot 1 or 2 rounds to make sure my fouling shot usually shoots to a little bit different point of impact. My next 2 shots formed a nice group. I want it to be 2 inches high, maybe 2.5 inches high. This is about 1 inch off. My next group, I moved it over a little bit too far. Then my final group, here's a nice 3-shot group, 5/8 of an inch group size. This one here I pulled. As soon as I pulled the trigger, I knew that I yanked it, so I'm not counting that one at all. But that's sighted incorrectly. My final zero for this rifle, 2.5 inches high at 100 yards. Nice tight group. 270 grain Barnes triple shot going 2750. When you have to shoot something big, this gun will do it, and has done it in the past. Anyhow, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe and like buttons. Everyone have a nice day. Take care.